Well, here's an interesting little tidbit from Peacemaker. Yeah. So here we are at Cosmic Book News, where the headline is DC and Marvel teamed up for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Peacemaker. What? A crossover between those two? Oh my god. No, that's not what happened. So this is going to have some spoilers if you have not seen the certainly the finale of Peacemaker, for a little surprise that was put in it. So be forewarned. Now we're going to go into it. So yeah, even the article, see warning spoilers of the last episode. Oh no. So of course James Gunn, who developed the Guardians of the Galaxy for the MCU, and then oh boy, he got in trouble with some tweets he made. A lot of tweets he made about some very disturbing material. Oh boy. And so he was put in a rubber room. Unlike other people who get canceled, he came back, which is why I don't really believe his cancellation was completely genuine. But nevertheless, it did put a pause on the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. But now he is making that third one. Apparently, as we speak, I suppose. I don't know how much has been shot or whatnot, but in between that, he was finishing up Peacemaker. And so this is what brings about this story. So apparently two different events here of where he had to go between the two studios. So there's the finale of Peacemaker that he actually shot the special scene on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and the actual Marvel team or the crew that shot it for him. And then one of the characters in Peacemaker was played by the actor Chuck Woody. Woodgie? I know I'm not getting your name right. I'm sorry. But we'll just go with Chuck. So Chuck came in because while he was filming his character for Peacemaker, he's also been cast for a character in Guardians of the Galaxy. And so in order to shoot the test screening for that, that was shot on the set of Peacemaker. And so that would mean the DC film crew shot his scenes. His test screen, but still, you know. So, I mean, I'm guessing it won't be in the actual Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But nevertheless, that's what everybody involved in Marvel saw and said, yeah, this guy's good or what have you. And they went for it, for him to be cast as this character. So there you go. You got that. Well, then we have, where is it? This scene here. Gee, can you guess who these characters are? So at the end, the Justice League shows up, and this was rather pivotal for, I think, it's very good that this was allowed to happen, because it's the Peacemaker supposed to be in that DCEU universe, and depending on which version you want to go with, the Justice League is established there. So it stood to reason, with how serious the problems that Peacemaker and his crew are dealing with, that someone like the Justice League would have to show up. It was that serious. And so at least 4 members, Batman's not there, show up. Now, Superman's a body double, or maybe CGI, I don't know. And same with Wonder Woman. That's not Gal Gadot, and that's not Henry Cavill. They were not available for this, and probably Henry Cavill wouldn't have been brought in for it because, for whatever reason, there's money, I guess. Bit of a standoff between him and Warner Brothers, and it's increasingly dubious that we'll ever see him as Superman again. I don't know. It's all very sad. But Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller were available to do the cameos for, so that's really them in the scene. So he was talking to Deadline about this and how that came about. So he says that Jason and I have I've known for a while, so we had a pre-existing relationship. And also Peter Safran, who's the producer on the show, and he's also one of my closest allies and friends. He's friends with Jason because he produces the Aquaman movie. So there you go. That was pretty simple phone call there. So we asked Jason. We knew Jason was probably going to do it very early on. Ezra came in as more of a surprise. I found out through a couple of friends that Ezra liked my movies, and so then I connected with him and asked him to do it as well. So yeah, we were just lucky with the two of them. So yeah, it could have just ended up being all silhouettes, but you really needed the dialogue. It's very quick, but still it fits in with especially the jokes that we're going through that Peacemaker makes about Flash and Aquaman through the series, primarily Aquaman. so you hear Aquaman just cursing. Yeah. I think both of those guys deserves total props because he does fuck with both of them the whole season. And so the fact that they have such a great sense of humor about themselves, I really appreciate both those guys and what they did. The Ezra outtakes are probably the greatest things I've ever had. He literally went on for 30 minutes, I can imagine. Yeah. But you got to rein that in for a cameo, And he hadn't seen the show. I just showed him the scene of them walking away, and he kept calling Harcourt the little blonde boy. Stupid Ezra, because Harcourt is all woman. She's also James Gunn's girlfriend in real life. But anyway, the best outtakes of all time are from him. So we get to see those maybe, but I don't know. Not an Ezra fan, but in the right hands, it kind of works out more or less. But so anyway, there it is. The Justice League appeared in the finale, and as for the Flashpoint and everything, it hasn't happened yet. So Ezra was still in the same outfit that you've seen him in the in Justice League. So there we go. So how about a DC versus Marvel movie? Deadline then remarked, they have to put Ezra Miller's outtakes on HBO Max. We saw Gunn reply with the news of Marvel helping out. I know Marvel shot it for us, which was really nice of them. Went on to explain the DC and Marvel team-ups. It was nice. Okay, so he's going on about, what I already said. So, and then Matt McCloy says, hey, if they get along, maybe one day there would be a DC versus Marvel movie. Yeah, don't hold your breath. It would be interesting depending on who does it. But boy, I tell you, the leeway that James Gunn gets between these two studios, they apparently both really like him. And, I was a bit cold to the Peacemaker series coming in, but it won me over. It's hilarious and all that, despite some of the wokeness. Yeah, it is there. Definitely in this last episode, it's a dumb speech. And I know the villain gives it, but then Peacemaker and Leota end up agreeing with it, more or less. Just come on. He had to pay tribute to the Church of Woke. He just had to. And that's what it is. But if that's it to the minimum, well, maybe it's about as good as it gets. I guess you got to take it. But considering where the mess that Warner Brothers is in, and the DCEU in particular, maybe it would be better if someone like James Gunn took it over. As Snyderverse being restored and all that, especially looking at where the direction seems to be with Bad Robot coming in, I would much rather the Snyderverse. But that seems unlikely, and I would probably bet on Gunn doing a better job, certainly better than anything Bad Robot would do, because just look at the trail of dead franchises left in their wake. So that would be a better, I don't know that's really in the offing here. He certainly has a lot of friends, it appears, and this sort of thing that he just does, and I know it's a simple thing, but it's a bigger deal between these studios and all that. It's usually it's just an immediate no on these things, and yet James Gunn he's the only guy who's been canceled and uncanceled that I know of. There's a few other idiot examples, Whoopi Goldberg and all that, but this is a bit more serious, and especially with what he's in charge with for these franchises and stuff. So if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the swan song for him with Marvel, then DC is this whole other toy box that nobody has been able to take advantage of. I mean, Snyder, but they, for whatever reason, man, they screwed him over big time. I've got problems with the guy here and there, but Warner Brothers completely stabbed him in the back, and him more than anyone else. And I mean, if you don't like what the vision was or whatnot, there was a time to make that decision, and they didn't do it. They decided to do it in the 11th hour and everything. That's another problem. If depending on what this Discovery merger results in, and hopefully clear-headed managers and whatnot knows when to make their decisions and when not, then it'll be in better hands no matter who takes it up. Well, not Bad Robot. I don't believe Bad Robot can come up with anything for DC. But maybe that would be for the best if James Gunn could assemble a team to work on that and craft a better shared universe for DC. One of the things they need to do, you got to wrest control from Bad Robot. And I think probably, as much as I like the Ben Affleck Batman and all that, I would rather see that continue, even if they recast it, but just within that mold. But if that's not on the table in any shape or form, then I think it would be best if they merged Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman into it, so you can have a damn Batman, and then cut a deal with Henry Cavill. If you got that, it'd be in better shape. Or, for God's sakes, then recast Superman as well. But this business of gender swapping and all that stuff with Batgirl and Supergirl will take their places, and no. And it's Michael Keaton, love him, but I mean, unless you're going to de-age him all the time, that's pretty expensive. A Batman Beyond film would be a good idea, but I just don't think this direction is going to go anywhere. I think it's all got failure written into it. Just so far afield from what the stories are that eventually you don't have it anymore. It's like, why even bother? You're just slapping the brand name on it, and that's it. So that sort of thing. So maybe it seems pretty crazy considering his take on it. But some aspects still remain there. I mean, he at least the DC version of Peacemaker did have quite the racist father that haunts him, and the show sets that up. So it's a roundabout way to get there, but it's not too far afield as something like a female Superman from another universe being Supergirl. No, not interested in that. So anyway, there we are. There's the little behind the scenes story, and what other possibilities that might entail. Because yes, James Gunn does seem to have quite the blank check for the moment, anyway, in Hollywood. Listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.